Okay, just a few things. I would like you to write a reference from the Gospel of John, chapter 20. Gospel of John, chapter 20, verse 30. Many other signs, therefore, Jesus also performed in the presence of the disciples, which are not written in this book. And chapter 21, verse 25. There are also many other things which Jesus did, which if they were written in details, I suppose that even the world itself would not contain the books which were written. So there are many things Jesus said and did which are not written in the Holy Bible, in the four Gospels. So if you see anything else in Islamic literature, I will invite you to look at it carefully. If you find it acceptable being a Christian, then I believe in this way, that I will accept it as a saying of Christ. If it's not against the basic fundamental beliefs of the Christians. The slides you have seen, those are all positive sayings, saying positive things about the Christ. And there is no doctrine involved on these things. Those are all social things. So if those quotations are acceptable, being a Christian or being a member of the Baptist Church, then I'll invite you to look at those things and see if you can accept and practice them in your life. But we have to keep in mind that whatever we have in the Holy Bible, in the four Gospels, is not the end itself. There's much more to it. This is the one point. And the second thing I will also suggest, if it is possible, since this is the first time in the church, so this is a very good start. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, it's a beautiful thing. But maybe sometime in the future, we can also arrange a session on Muhammad in Islam. What do we Muslim believe about Muhammad? So we don't go just looking at him from a Christian point of view, but we will be able to understand more from an Islamic point of view. And I think more of this misunderstanding will be removed in those sessions. So I will not comment on those things. Another reference I would like you to write it down is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7. And then from verse 21 onwards. And I'm going to read verse 22. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? And in your name cast off demons, and in your name perform many miracles? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. You depart from me, you practical lawlessness. Now if you see in this quotation of Jesus Christ and many other places of the New Testament, miracles are not important according to Christ. It's the teachings, it's the belief, it's the faith. Sometimes we talk very much about on miracles, but according to Islam, miracle can be performed by Antichrist. And Jesus himself said there are many people in this world, false prophet, they will also perform miracles. So miracle is not a standard to judge a person's divinity or even his righteousness. We have to focus on what he is teaching. Teachings are important. This is where we need to compare Islam and Christianity. So this is the second point I would like to say. Thirdly, about the Gospels, when we say Muslims Gospel of Christ, we mean Gospel of Christ. What we have today is the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but we don't have the Gospel of Christ. What do we believe in is the words he uttered, that verbal revelation, what he said in his lifetime. So that is the gospel according to the Islamic faith. What we have is the four different versions of the same gospel. Now the difference between Islam and Christianity is that we say what is being presented here in the name of gospel is not what he said. And we have our own version of the gospels. But saying that this is the gospel which Quran testifies is not right, because this is not our belief. For example, if we accept for a moment that this is the gospel, what we believe in, then you see the Matthew first chapter, the book of genealogy of Jesus Christ. Is this what Jesus is saying? Or this is written by Matthew? So we believe in what he said. Nowadays you have that red letters editions of the Holy Bible. So those red letters we would say those are the words of Christ is the gospel we believe in. And there are references in the New Testament, in the 4 Gospels, that he went to a certain place and preached the gospel. He didn't have these 4 Gospels with him, Jesus. So whatever he said, that is the gospel. Now this is the recorded history of what he said, and these authors, if you go into the New Testament history and books, you are aware of it, you'll see that these are the 4 different versions written with particular aim in mind. So we don't believe in these gospel, but what he said. And then, in this short time, it's very difficult to comment on so many other things, but I'll stick to this thing, that we need to develop more understanding. We need to divide subjects for a lengthy discussion. But just to start with, as a beginning, this is the beautiful session, this is the good enough to develop a basic understanding of the text. Now for each and every word that is spoken, we need separate sessions, detailed sessions, like are there miracles of Muhammad in the Quran or not? There are many verses in the Quran that says he performed miracles. But it depends which verse you would like to take and present. It's a matter of choice. So we need separate sessions. But just to start with, this is, I think, is enough. Maybe in the future we can have more sessions on different topics. But most important topic that we need to arrange and organize in the future is Muhammad in Islam. What do we Muslims believe about Muhammad? We know what you know what we believe about Jesus, but you also need to know what we believe about Muhammad. And those celebration of the birthday of Holy Prophet Muhammad, those are there in Pakistan. Now it's increasing, the popularity is increasing. We have theological basis for that, but I would just like to tell you that the religious popularity about religion, religious beliefs, extremism is also growing because of the American foreign policies. It's not just the theology also, it's a reaction also. So those political factors are also there. We also need to consider those things. So thank you very much.